Ever tried making mac and cheese out of beans? Sounds a little crazy, right? But stick around. This white bean mac and cheese might just surprise you or might send you spiraling. Today I'm testing a recipe that claims to be luxuriously creamy, so comforting and quick and easy to make. Will it live up to the hype? Let's find out together. Hi everyone, welcome back to the vegan mac and cheese showdown. I'm on a mission to find out the ultimate vegan mac and cheese recipe. In each episode I try different mac and cheese recipe and see how it stacks up. Today's contender is from Rian's recipe blog. It's a vegan white beans mac and cheese. So what makes this one special? Instead of cashews or processed vegan cheese, this sauce is made from blended white beans as a secret to its creaminess. The recipe creator, Rian's, I hope I'm pronouncing it right, sorry if I'm not, actually experimented with different ingredients. She tried cauliflower, which is maybe a great idea for the next recipe, maybe potatoes or even mochi, before discovering that white beans might be a perfect solution. Maybe, might be, I don't know. White beans are mild in flavor, they can be creamy if we blend them really well, and they add a boost of protein and fiber, that's for sure. That's what beans do. I have high hopes for this recipe, but I also am the most anxious about this recipe so far. But this recipe strikes me as not just vegan, but vegan on a health kick, you know what I mean? It's like a healthier option, which is valid. We all should try to eat healthier. But is it tasty? That's what it comes down to, for me at least. The recipe uses everyday ingredients, so bonus points for that. Alright, let's jump into it. I'll walk you through the ingredients and step, and then we'll do the fun part. Taste test it and see if it deserves a top spot in our showdown. If you haven't already, I'll recommend you watching previous episode of this series to see different kind of vegan mac and cheeses that I tried on this channel. So you'll need a handful of simple ingredients for this recipe. Pasta, oil, I use olive oil, onion, garlic, plant-based milk, I use soy milk today, it should be unsweetened, nutritional yeast, just 2 tablespoons in this one. Okay. Miso paste, apple cider vinegar, and of course the star of this one, white beans. The recipe says 400 grams tin of white beans, which I assumed means less amount of white beans, because for example in this tin, if you drain it and rinse it, it has about 220 beans themselves. So I assume that's what was meant, so this is the amount that I'm gonna use. So make sure if you're gonna try it, maybe we can ask the author, but I think that's what she meant. And of course salt and pepper to taste. So now let's get cooking. So I'm gonna cook the pasta first. As usual, follow the instructions on the package and just make sure that you cook it al dente, because we're gonna cook it first. Maybe we're gonna leave it for a little bit, and then we're gonna mix it with the sauce. So we just don't want to make sure that we don't end up with too overcooked pasta. So while the pasta is cooking, I heat olive oil in a saucepan over medium heat. Once the oil is hot, add the diced onions and garlic. Saute them for about 10 minutes. Stir occasionally until the onion is soft and kind of translucent. The next thing is adding the rest of the ingredients for the sauce. Pour your plant-based milk to the pan with the softened onions and garlic in them. Then in go the rest of the sauce components: nutritional yeast, miso paste, apple cider vinegar, and of course drained can of white beans, and a good pinch of salt and pepper. I'm gonna adjust it after blending it for salt and pepper before mixing it with pasta. We can always add some more salt and pepper. Give everything a stir, bring this mixture to a boil, then reduce the heat and let it simmer for a couple of minutes. The blending part. Now, carefully transfer the hot mixture to your blender. Recipe author says that you can use immersion blender for this recipe. Just make sure that your blender allows hot stuff put into it. Some blenders can't do that, so don't allow it. Some can. And then I blend it until it's completely smooth and creamy. Now this might take a minute or so. Just remember, our goal is to make it look like a velvety sauce for our vegan mac and cheese. So maybe stop the blender, scrape it, and continue blending. I wish you good luck. And as I said, as opposite to, for example, our recipe with silken tofu mac and cheese or boiled potatoes, here you might need maybe a more powerful blender, because obviously those beans are gonna be harder, a little bit harder. They are soft. They're gonna be just a little bit harder to turn into a smooth, velvety sauce. But it's totally possible. If you notice that you don't have enough of liquid, you can definitely add a splash of plant-based milk or water to make it work. And the last part is combining it. Your pasta is cooked, it's drained, and you just pour your velvety creamy sauce on top of it and combine it all together, mix it all together real nice. It looks cute, The sauce covers the pasta, but the main question is the taste, how it's gonna taste. So let's get into it. Let's get to the last part, the taste. Alright, my favorite part of the video. The only part that really matters, the taste test. So I have my vegan mac and cheese from white beans over here, and what I can say visually is that the sauce is definitely very thick. It didn't come out grainy as I was a little bit afraid of. I guess because my blender is pretty decent, I did end up with a very smooth but thick, very thick sauce. I guess because it has a lot of protein, it has a lot of fiber, that makes it have a lot of substance, So yeah, it's thick, which makes it not as smooth, maybe, not as smooth, but maybe it's a good thing. I don't know. And well, I mean, it looks nice, it looks good. Maybe not as smooth that I would have hoped for, but still looks kind of delicious already. It smells delicious because, well, all this beautiful but simple ingredients and sauteed onions. I mean, it smells delicious. And I guess, let me just try it. Just give me a moment. Okay. Well. So what I can tell you for sure, that it's not giving me this vegan mac and cheese comfort food taste and feeling. It doesn't. But it doesn't mean that it's not bad. No. The sauce is actually quite tasty. It's not giving me cheesy, it's not giving me as I already said, vegan mac and cheese. Mac and cheesy comfort feeling? No. But as I said, I was expecting that because this one is sort of like a more of a healthy version. So I wouldn't call it vegan mac and cheese. I guess maybe it was called like that, you know, just for the hype or just something like that. But the taste of the sauce is actually good. You know, it's giving me more like something like a little bit nutty, very mushroomy, maybe because of sauteed onions, because when I cook mushrooms I almost all of the time like do them with sauteed onions, so maybe that's why. But it's kind of giving me that, like, you know, white sauce maybe with onions and mushrooms feeling. A lot of umami, for sure, a lot of umami. So, as you saw from the ingredients, the sauce doesn't have, here I go again talking about oil and fat. It doesn't have much oil or any other kind of fat, which makes it good for people who, you know, don't want to consume a lot of this kind of ingredients. But I do taste it. I taste that it doesn't have enough of that profile for me, just for me. It's not bad. It's not bad for sure. So I would say if you have a can of white beans and you wanna make a pasta dish that is vegan and more on a healthier side, whatever that means. I think nobody actually knows what that means, but still, right? This is a good recipe to try, but it's not giving me vegan mac and cheese comfort food, unfortunately. Unfortunately it doesn't, so it's not going to be at the top of my list, not because it's bad, but because of the reasons I described earlier. So don't expect, if you make it, don't expect it to be something like mac and cheese, you know, because I would feel like you get disappointed. But I'm kind of repeating myself, I guess. If you want to try to make like a sort of a sauce from beans that has less fats and oils and stuff like that, the flavor profile is a good one. It's a good one, yes. So as I already said, it's not bad. I'm not disgusted. We do like that we have protein in our pasta, and yeah, I don't know if I'm gonna make it again. Maybe I will, because I bought a few cans of white beans for this recipe. Maybe I'll try something else. And of course, I want to know, what do you think? Have you tried it? Have you ever tried something like that? Have you tried maybe other like sauces that are based on white beans? And if you're gonna try this recipe, let me know what you think about the way it tastes and everything about it. I would like to know. And let me know what kind of recipes you want me to try out and taste on my kitchen. Until then, I'll see you in the next videos. Bye.